Okay, folks, welcome to another Sunday Night Futures Live. Welcome. Rick, hello. Fedago's on steroids. Yep. Yeah, we're going to see more of that this week. Joseph, hello.
It's a crazy time right now. Hundreds of thousands of people are getting laid off.
Let's get rid of that. Amerimigo, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you, sir. Bob, so much for the actionable COVID news. Yeah, that was kind of like a nothing burger. The treatment, I thought he was going to talk more about hydroxychloroquine because I think that's a scam that they're not using that more frequently here in the United States. We use it somewhat, but nowhere near like other areas of the rest of the world. And it clearly shows their fatality rates are far lower than those countries that have no use. Many countries like Italy, Spain, they don't use it at all. But their death rates are very, very high. So clear correlation, big scam that we're not using it here. And that's swamp creature Fauci for you. But I digress. So I hope I'm saying this right. Convalescent plasma, something like that. 37% increase in survival rate, huge. They've been doing this. It's not a new treatment per se. It's been around for like 100 years. But for COVID, obviously new. They've been using it over in Europe for a while now. But they're going to move forward here in the States. And as you can see right now, we're popping. We're breaking out. Continuation breakout on the week. New weekly high, new all-time high on the futures market. We're up just shy of a quarter percentage point off the session highs. Amanchu, hello. What Amerimigo, what are interest rates going to do going into this fall? Funny you say that. I have a chart up. I want to talk about that. Gary, hello. Jedi. Hey, Jedi. You sent me those shirts, right? And you wrote me that letter, right? Please confirm that. I've been meaning to bring that up. Emilio, hello. Corey. On Thursday night, Jedi. I'll tell you. I haven't brought it up because the box. I've been looking at this box. It came USPS, and usually any box that comes is from my daughter or my son from Amazon. And so I look at it, and my son's name is Robert as well. And I rarely get boxes in the mail. I rarely shop online. And he goes, "Oh, I think that's for you." I said, "Well, thank you very much for letting me know. I have a box here." So it's been sitting, and I open it up. It's a beautiful written letter. I'm going to share it. I'm going to post the letter. Jedi wrote really nice letter, and he sent me 2 T-shirts. One with stock seer on it. I'm going to show them in a couple of days. But thank you very much. Very, very courteous of you. It really touched my heart. So thank you very much for that. And I'm going to show them on Thursday night. So please join us here. Thursday Night Futures Live, or Thursday Night Stock Charts Live. That's when we look at the weekly charts to see how we're going to close out the week. Jedi, thank you very much. I appreciate it very, very much. Very heartfelt. And I'm going to share it with everyone. Again, thank you. Pat, I see you're on. Hello, Pat. Chuck, good evening. Ali. We're going to go over Tesla. We're going over Tesla. It's a stock chart request. It's on my list. Corey, not too late. Can you give AGQ stop loss? Sure, we can talk about that. AGQ stop loss? Yeah. We re-entered the silver trade last week. Opening position. And I'm going to keep my stop fairly loose, but it's a fair question. I'm going to go to the dollar in a moment. You can see we're holding gains so far. Stop loss. Going to make a note to myself, okay? Denny, hello. Good to see you, sir. The lovely Trish, hello. Welcome. David, Anthony, Oliver, Great group tonight. Kat, hello. All right. Okay, so let's get to it. Big group on. If you folks could smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, share with a friend, you know the deal. I'd appreciate it. And I'm proud of myself for not having to be reminded by the viewers to say those words, like, subscribe, whatnot. So, Anthony, hello. Happy Summer Sunday to you too. David, hello. Okay, let's get to it. Let's go through the futures first. Let's see how we're opening up. Coming off a little bit, but it's early yet. We have to let the futures settle down. The NASDAQ 100, you know, the market breadth of late has not been wonderful. And going into last week, we had bet that we were going to see a widening out of breadth. And the reason why we thought that would happen was because of the prior week's rally on yields. But it wasn't to be. We had a breakdown on yields last week, and that crushed our hopes for seeing some sector rotation. We're positioning. We spent most of last week positioning to what I believe is going to be a pause in the TripQ names, the NASDAQ 100 names, and then we should see a rise in yields and some rotation into the financials, hopefully. We reopened positions in silver. We added a bit to our gold mining trade on Friday. And I'm going to go over the stop loss for AGQ, which is an ETF for silver in a moment. So the NASDAQ 100 on pace with the S&P 500 up, new highs on the week, good sign. So we're up spot 1.7, spot 1.6. Where are we? A little bit lacking on S&P 500, no shock there, versus the NASDAQ 100. So market breadth, still a little bit meh. We're seeing a little bit more strength. Very weak last week, and hopefully this holds up. You're seeing some strength this evening in the Russell, which came close to the lower band of its trading range on Friday. You really need to see the Russell 2000 and the banks kick into gear to get a big rally going outside of the TripQ names. What else we have? I'm going to skip the commodity names. First, I want to go to the dollar, see what it's doing. All right, it's showing up at current, but we sold off after hours on Friday. I don't want to see a new weekly high in the dollar, because that'll put a lid, potentially, on the gold silver trade. I'm going to create an alert here. Advising us of when we put in a new high on the dollar. And I'm also watching the price of bonds. We're going to go to bonds in a moment. And a weak dollar is good for the industrials, the Dow Industrials. Makes our goods cheaper overseas. And while the Federal Reserve and Treasury may talk up the U.S. dollar, they want a strong U.S. dollar, they don't. They want to inflate our way out of debt. They want to get goods exported. So they may jawbone the dollar up, but they don't want it to go up higher. Let's take a look at bonds, and then we'll go into commodities and see how they're behaving. I'll blast you. Come here. Okay, come here. This is my beautiful daughter. Goes to Love you.
Love you too.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
My little girl. Okay, so where was I? Okay, bonds. Echoes back, Pat. Sorry about that. Where are my bonds? 10 year, where are you at? Here we go. All right, so the 10 year is up, but the good news here is that it's fading. At least that works well for our financial position. Won't help our gold mining position or our silver position. Darth Vader, Bob. Is the echo that bad? Really? It's that bad? Wow, I gotta try to fix this. Is this any better? Hopefully. If you can let me know if that I just changed the volume on it. It's better? David, thank you. All right, cool. All right, cool. Thanks, everyone. Okay. Excellent. Thank you, David. Appreciate it. All right, so yields flat. They're flat. You know what? Good. Stay flat. That's what we want. All right, let's go to commodities. Nat gas down, but it broke out on Friday. Big breakout. Retest of support. Thank you, Corey. Thank you very much. Thanks, Ed. Okay. All right. So nat gas pulling in. I still like nat gas. Nat gas is looking good. And the good thing about the nat gas is that it doesn't trade inversely of the dollar. We produce so much of it here that it's really not affected by dollar strength, dollar weakness. Oil. Where's my light sweet crude? There we go. Oil's being bid up. This bodes well for the coming week. We're at resistance, no breakout yet. These are, I haven't said this yet. These are all 4-hour charts. So we saw a nice rally in the back half on Friday on oil. The continuation move higher. This session looks promising. We just need to get above, let's call it 40, let's call it 42.85 to 42.90 the barrel. And we may have a rally on our hands. Gold. Gold is down nearly a half percentage point. And we're trading down below a support level. We caught a bid on the 21st. It appears to be under some pressure. And look no further than the strength in the US dollar. And frankly, technicals. It's consolidating right now. It's had a big sell-off. It was overbought. We knew it wasn't going to last. We've pulled back. Now we're going to have backing and filling. Longer term, it's going to be the place to be. We'll turn this green. This is now resistance. We want to see a breakout above it. Let's take a look at silver. Silver down about 1/3 of a percentage point. And a very tight consolidation on a 4-hour basis. We'd love to see a rally here. It's possible. So we'll circle back. Before I log off tonight, we'll come back and we'll see how things settle down. We'll take a quick peek at corn, get a quick feel for ag prices. Looking good here. Higher lows. Very tight consolidation. Path of least resistance is clearly to the upside. Wheat was very interesting as well. I mean, this is just outstanding. Really outstanding. We're in a downtrend channel. We broke out here on the 20th. Big pullback and a retest. Outstanding reversal. This is exactly what you want to see. Then follow through to the upside. Perfect. Textbook breakout. This is what we live for. Okay, let's take some chart requests before I leave here. Let's take a quick look at the VIX, which has been kind of ominous of late. It's off the lows of this session, but it is down. But still a threat. Okay, let's talk chart requests. The way I'm going to go through these tonight, actually, we're not going to do chart requests yet. I was going to lead off with a headline, but I got to be honest with you, I was disappointed with the announcement from the president. I think that this is more of what we're going to continue to see as we proceed into the election. I've been asked why no big contrarian bets of late, because they're not working. Right? I would love to go shorting the market, but it's not working. So to deny the environment that we're in, that this market is being rigged up in the face of the Federal Reserve Treasury into Election Day, it's crazy to fight. So I don't want to go shorting for no reason whatsoever. I'm getting spammed like hell in the chat box. All right, green corn. They're blocking you for whatever reason. Hold on, let me see if I can unblock you. All right. What's Rocket Stock? What is that, a financial newsletter? Are you spamming me? Come on, man. That's not cool. All right. Kat, I just saw your message mixed in here. Sorry. This is what I'm looking at, just so you don't think I'm crazy. I'm getting spammed to death. Kat, I see you. All right, so W, Oliver, Boeing, 480 shenanigans, BLCN. I think that's with other member stock chart requests to go over. Green corn, send me the symbol. What's the symbol? We'll go over it. And I'll unblock you if you're for real, all right? BLCN. All right, so we're going to skip over the president's news. Love the guy, but it was a nothing burger. So I'm not going to waste time on it. All right, so last week's economic data. I'll tell you what was impressive about last week's economic data. Housing numbers. People are fleeing the cities. Housing numbers, outstanding. The number, where was the number? Existing home sales. Pretty sizable beat and a big jump over the prior read. I mean, over a million additional homes sold in July versus June. That's a huge jump. That's huge. And a big beat, no less. So people are fleeing the city. Oh, Rocket Mortgages. Okay. All right, let's validate that. I've heard of it. I heard them on the radio. Oh, this is brand new. This is brand new. All right. You got it, Pat. All right, so I'm going to keep this brief here. Housing is a place to be. We like the housing stocks. Coming up this week, forget about Chicago Fed National. I don't expect much out of that. Consumer confidence, huge number. Watch this number here. The Case-Shiller National Home Price Index year over year. I'm willing to bet you 6 cents, right? That's it. They're gonna rip through the ceiling. This number. Watch new home sales. Wednesday, durable goods. That's washing machines, dryers, items that are meant to last for an extended period of time. Franklin, hello, sir. Suresh, okay. Initial jobless claims. This is the problem for the market right now. This is why we keep stumbling. They had expected 910,000 initial jobless claims on Thursday. We still are over a million mark. I think that if we get down below a million, S&P 500 surges. Not that it should, but I think it's going to surge on the news. Friday, core inflation, Chicago PMI, Purchasing Managers Index. So a good amount of economic data coming out this week. I think the big number, the Pimp Mac Daddy of the week anyway, is going to be initial jobless claims. You see a drop below a million, I think the market takes off. All right, let's get to some chart requests. And before we go into it, I think this is a really important chart. If you're thinking about buying the banks, you really need to know this chart very, very well. 10-year yield. It broke out the week prior to last. Last week, breakout point failure. Not good for the banks. Good for precious metals, but not good for the banks. So keep this in the back of your mind. This is a really significant breakdown in yields. And if they don't gap up on Monday, it's going to be a very volatile session for the banks. And we may need to lighten up or at least not go adding until we see strength, and perhaps go adding to precious metals if we see an opportunity. So let's move on. The order that we're going to go through these with, and this is for the benefit of people that are watching this on the replay. Since I have it up here, I'll go with Rocket Mortgage first. There's not much data here. I don't know what to go over all too much. We'll talk about the intraday chart for you. All right, but they're already blasting it off. It's extended daily chart, big topping action. So selling on Friday. We're not going to go over the weekly chart because there's not enough data. We'll go over 4-hour chart. Not bad. I would watch for this support level here, which marked a breakout. I'm watching these volume shelves, right? So it needs to hold 24.51. And if we manage to, for whatever reason, to hit that support level, that would be an interesting buy point. And we'll keep this active for a few days. But net, I think that you're probably going to move to higher highs here, especially with the decline in yields, people moving out of the cities, buying homes. I think that these names are going to do very, very well. And I think you need to take a look at the regional banks as well. So it looks good intraday basis. Not enough data to really give you a really well thought out multi-time frame analysis view using weekly charts and monthly charts. But net, in all probability, you're going to see higher highs here on Rocket Mortgage. So getting back to the sequence in which we're going to go through these for those that are on the replay. Pat, DPH, we have a lot to go over. AAL for Suresh, Wax. Okay. All right, Oliver, we're going to leave off with NAC, okay? I'm going to cut it off with that one. So the sequence in which we already did Rocket, that's out of the way. PTON, Apple, Tesla, Cake, AGQ, we're going to talk about that stop loss order. W, Wayfair, Boeing, BLCN, SHLL, DPHC, AAL, American Airlines, WEX, and NAK. And we'll leave off with that. So let's get to it. Let's do this. PTON. Peloton. Major COVID play. I doubt we have much data here. We do not. Monthly chart, so we'll skip the monthly chart. Oh, you know what? Let's not skip it. We have only a few trading days left to go. A full week and +1, right? Or was that Labor Day? I forget. The 31st. Anyway, Peloton. We have a doji formation forming on a monthly basis. We did make a new monthly high, but the doji formation at current, this could all change, a sign of indecision. Tug of war between bulls and bears. Weekly chart. A nice outside reversal week last week. And a breakout. Watch for a retest of the breakout point. And I'll tell you, folks, what has not been working of late, over the past couple of weeks, is watching these breakouts and then chasing them. Because it may take a week or two. If you go back to my best stock charts going back 3 weeks ago, pretty much every single stock that we went over rallied, did not pull back, just rallied. Guess what? This past week, they're all pulling back, retesting support. And I went over a bunch of them yesterday on the Weekend Commentary. Members, you could go check that out. PTON, what I'd be looking for here, because I wouldn't chase it, is a pullback retest of support on a weekly basis. Desmond, what are you doing here? Okay. I'm blowing through these quick. Once, we're going to keep it active for the week. And we're good to go. Good looking weekly chart. Love the breakout. Daily chart. Nice consolidation in here. I wouldn't go chasing it though. A little bit of topping action. If you need to scratch the itch and you're going to do it no matter what I say, look for a retest of 69.12. Use a stop loss right below it. but I wouldn't go chasing it. I'd wait for that pullback and a retest of weekly support. It's all about discipline right now, folks. This is a thin market. You have only too few stocks leading this market up higher, and it's consistent. If you chase the breakouts, go out 1 or 2 weeks, and they're coming back in and they're retesting, just better off to wait for them to pull back and retest. Apple, now making up 7% of the S&P 500's market cap. Monthly chart. It's simply an outstandingly beautiful chart. There's nothing not to like about it, with the exception of RSI on a monthly basis is above 82. It can still go higher. Weekly chart, RSI at current 84.34. We close near the highs of the week. In all probability, we're going higher. Daily chart. RSI, daily basis, above 80, nearly 81. I think we're going higher. I think they will probably correct a bit on Monday. Buyers are going to step back in. They're going to bid it back up. I think Apple remains a long. Bullish. I want to be contrarian. I want to say go shorting Apple. I can't. Suicide. But the market will tell us when it's time. We'll know. Tesla. I think Pat was mentioning earlier that I never deny one of our members' requests. So we have NVIDIA. That'll be the last one. Okay. Tesla. He mentioned maybe getting added, or the speculation they're going to be added to the S&P 500. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised. But you got to take note here, folks. I mean, we're trading above the third standard deviation Bollinger Band on a monthly basis. RSI near 90. Weekly chart. In all probability, it's going up higher. I mean, RSI is over 84. We closed just off the highs of the week. This is not topping action. This is not a chart that is telling us that, yeah, it's overbought, but it's ready to correct. It's not. It's telling us it's overbought and it's going to get more overbought. And if you want to go shorting it, do so at your own peril, because the road is littered with those who have been shorting this stock. So on Friday, did we top off a little bit here? Sure. But RSI on a daily basis is still not at extreme levels. It could still go up higher. You know, all it needs to do is have a 1-2 day pullback. That sets the stage for a continuation move up higher. I wouldn't short this stock. Not quite yet. I think ultimately it still goes higher. And if they add to the S&P 500, I think that a week out from being added to the S&P 500, then you look at it as a short. I would want to short on that news. I would not want to be short into that news. Cake. That would be the contrarian play. Cheesecake Factory. This is a total recovery play here. The monthly chart, you know, take note of these volume bars, these volume shelves. This is akin to the market saying that we have a bunch of resistance above. And what the market is telling you here is noted by these heat maps. I just turned them on. Heat maps. Oh, and by the way, this segment is brought to you by a horrible spokesman. Horrible. Is brought to you by TrendSpider. Next generation in automated technical analysis. There's a discount code, 35% off, lowest on the web. Take advantage of it. CON35. All right, so So on the heat maps, we have resistance above, as noted by these volume shelves. You can't ignore this. This is a ton of resistance. These are people that they want to get made whole, right? And you have an upper band of declining resistance. I would be a buyer of Cheesecake Factory here. Right here. 30.23. 30.23. It's because a close on a monthly basis above that level would be very, very interesting. I guess that's my word of the day. I think I said that like 20 times already today. Monthly breakout. I'm going to keep this active for next 7 trading days. Breakthrough. I don't care if it touches. I just want to see a clean breakout. That would get me in. Right now, what this is implying that, you know, if you get a sell-off in this market, this is probably going to be one of the first to go, right? So a lot of topping action at resistance. Wait, let it come to you. Allow it to show you that it has the strength to break out. RSI, no breakout. I'm looking for contrarian indicators. Stokes, interesting. Higher lows and a breakout to higher highs. Good stuff. Early stage. You can still have a lot of backing and filling. You can't buy just on that. Weekly chart. Middle of a trading range. No compelling reason on a weekly basis to get long. I would still wait for that monthly breakout. Daily chart. Again, no compelling reason to get long. You know, if you're very short term and you're going to buy this stock no matter what, the good news is that we did see a breakout on Friday. We do have, as noted by this volume weighted moving average. How did this get yellow? Make it green for money. All right. This volume-weighted moving average, you can see is acting as resistance at current. I would watch for a pullback. I'm not going to set an alert here. I want to see the monthly breakout. That's all I care about with this stock. Monthly breakout. Right now, all I can expect is backing and filling. And if you plan on buying it, no matter what I say, do yourself a favor. Wait for support at 25.21 to get hit. Where do we close? 26.04. Totally achievable. So that's cake. I like it on a monthly breakout. Just to repeat myself over and over and over again. That's cake. AGQ. Let's talk stop loss on AGQ. Let's talk about why we bought it. This is the wrong chart list. Okay, so we're not in this trade as a short-term swing trade. We're in this for a longer-term investment. So I'm willing to endure a couple of body blows here and build a position, even at lower prices, as long as the setup looks strong. I don't want to average down for the sake of averaging down. We opened up a new position after booking profits a few weeks ago on AGQ. The reason why we opened the position was that, let's update this so I can illustrate better. We had broken out, and I always talk about retests, and this is a classic example of a retest. We had broken out here. This was, last Monday. Remember, this time last week, we were talking all about Buffett, buying Barrick Gold, shorting America, yada, yada, yada. And what happened on Monday? I said they're going to spike gold, they're going to spike silver, it's going to fade because shorters have very, very short-term memories. What happened? They broke silver out. Those who bought up here are just utterly annihilated by the end of the week on Friday. We waited for support to get hit. It got hit. We saw buyers move in. We reopened the position. So where would I stop out on AGQ? I wouldn't use the daily chart. If we broke down below 55 bucks a share, I would get nervous because if we close out the week below that mark, we're coming down here to 50 bucks a share. So if we appear poised to close down the week, next week, the week after, whenever, below $55 per share, we're out. We'll revisit it down at 50, or if it recaptures $55 per share. So that would be my game plan with AGQ. And I hope that answers the question. All right. That's AGQ. I'm going to cross these off. Wayfair. I got to tell you, this stock gives me the creep. You can even see, I don't know if you can see this. My hair just stood up on my arm because of that creepy story about child abductions and them naming their cabinets after these kids are abducted. I mean, crazy stuff. And charging $10,000 for a cabinet. You would have thought that would have taken the stock down. It did not. I think the stock is going up higher. I mean, this is a daily chart. This is a beautiful play. This is a play on what? It's a play on home office furnishings, right? It's a play on people leaving the cities and moving out to the suburbs. So let's begin as we normally do. Let's go with a monthly chart. Get that macro view. Whoa. We are very, very overbought here relative to the third standard deviation Bollinger Band. We have no overhead supply above, so they can keep this joyride going for a bit longer. An insane breakout last week. We broke out above what was 2-week resistance. We closed at the highs of the week. Where's our RSI? RSI is overbought. 84.43, daily chart. We're going higher. Remove. Let's try that again, Bobo. All right, there we go. Breakout. We broke out. I think we're going higher. It's a beautiful chart. I think it's a buy. If you get the opportunity, if it pulls back and retests, what is it? 326.35. That's a good entry point. Watch for a rally. That would be a retest of the breakout point. In fact, you know what? I'm setting up an alert. Touch, bounce. Give it a little bit of sensitivity. I want to get noted right away. W. Retest. We'll keep it active for the week. W looking strong. Definitely not a short. Even with monthly Bollinger's overbought, I still think that they're going to take this up higher. So I would not go shorting this just yet. Watch for an overbought RSI daily basis to validate that, you know what, RSI weekly chart, now daily chart, overbought. If we get above the Bollinger Band's third standard deviation Bollinger Band on a daily basis, then we start looking to go shorting W. Right now is not the time. Path of least resistance is clear to the upside. I would be long of W, trailing stop loss order, takes you out, minimal pain, and it captures as much upside potential as possible. Boeing. So we have the month that is nearly over, and Boeing can't get out of its own way. even with the very strong rally. Granted, last week the transports were down, but the transports over the past several weeks have had an amazing run, and Boeing just can't catch a bid. I mean, we're up on the month, but we're well off the highs of the month. I think that if we retest 155.90, that's a good entry point. I want to get notified if we break through as well. All right, so the reason why I'm writing possible short is that if we break this support level, that would be a significant breakdown. And we would fall to probably 146. If that breaks, we're heading back down to the low 100s on Boeing. Now, I don't want to see it break. I mean, this is a short of America. You want to see it rally. You really do want to see it rally. But if it breaks that support level, 155.90, that spells trouble. Weekly chart. Not a good week last week. I mean, the best that can be said about the weekly chart is that we closed off the lows of the week, which was at 165.86. And in fact, I'm going to move my support level down to that mark. I want to set up an alert here because that would be an interesting price point to open a position at with a tight stop right below. We'll keep it active for the week. Now you see this volume bar here. This is the big problem. You have a ton of overhead supply here. And if we ever get above 191.82 and we finally close there, that would spell good things. Look what happened the last time we got above that mark. I mean, we rallied all the way up to, this is where we booked profits, up here. This is the last time we were long, at 224.49. We didn't book profits up there. We got out at like 202 around there and just kept heading up higher. But it couldn't hold those gains. It dropped back down. So 191.82 would be an interesting point at which to get long at, if in fact we do see a rally. But we really need to get above this overhead supply. Daily chart. Daily chart is implying that we're probably going to see lower lows. This trigger, this alert's probably going to pop off probably as soon as tomorrow. And we may look to enter the trade with a tight stop right below. Not loving the Stokes. Stokes are trading down below the 50 mark. And as I always like to say, rallies tend to fade. You'll see a spike up in the morning. And then what happens? They fade when Stokes are declining down below 50. So what happened last Friday? Rallied, faded. What happened on Thursday? Rallied, faded. Still closed up. What happened on Wednesday? Rallied, faded, and so on and so forth. Let these Stokes get resolved. So I'm not loving Boeing. Maybe we'll take a nibble at support. Maybe we'll just wait and see whether or not it holds, and we'll buy at lower prices. Not loving those Stokes. BLCN. Realty shares, NASDAQ, next gen economy. You're welcome, Pat. Kat. Pat, you, this is a new one. All right. So, monthly chart, very overbought relative to the Bollinger Bands, third standard deviation Bollinger Bands. No overhead supply above. You know, a little bit. You know, we're off the highs of the month slightly. But it's a powerful chart, beautiful chart. I would expect a pause soon. Weekly chart, very nice continuation move higher. Out of a consolidation last week. RSI getting up there. Closed out the week at 77.29. It can go higher. Daily chart. I think it goes higher. I think what we're doing here is we're consolidating. And that in all probability, we're going to break out higher on these shares. A little bit of a volume shelf there, but I think we clear it fairly easily. Just beware of RSI rolling over a little bit here, and that's probably just RSI is probably just a victim of the consolidation, so I wouldn't read too much into it. I think it goes higher. Let's take a quick peek at a 4-hour chart. How do we close? $36.40, interesting support. If you want to open up a position there with a stop loss right below, that would be a good entry point, or wait for a breakout above 37.27 on a closing basis. And ideally, you get a retest to add more. So I like it. I think it goes higher. Just remember that monthly chart, third standard deviation Bollinger Band. What normally happens when you get that is on a monthly basis at the following month is that you get a sharp pullback early on in the month. It alleviates that overbought condition. Then the shares head up higher. That's BCLN, SHLL. That's another one for Pat. Tortoise acquisition. We've gone over this one several times. Powerful chart. But the monthly chart's not helpful. This is helpful. Very nice breakout. We closed off the highs of the week a bit. Daily chart. Nice consolidation. We broke out here on the 17th. Retest 1, 2, 3, bullish reversal bar off of support. Continuation breakout on Friday. I think it goes higher. RSI looking good. Higher lows. I think it goes high. And you have no overhead supply above. Very limited overhead supply above. Very easy to get through. I wouldn't worry about it. I think it goes up higher. DPHC. Oh, no, DPHC. Got it right the first time. Ooh. Yee. Ah. Okay. Let's continue to what we normally do. Let's go with a higher level view first. Not a lot of data here. This is a worthless chart. Weekly chart. All right, so you can see what happened here. All right, the technicals took over. Week number 1, week number 2, week number 3, above the third standard deviation Bollinger Band. It doesn't end well, right? So this is not a pretty chart. Longer term, it could pull back, consolidate, and go to the moon. It can go to $1 million per share. But right now, I think there's a lot of danger in these shares. And when you take a look at a daily chart, you put in, you put in a lower high, here, and we broke down below support. I should be using my automated trend lines. Didn't pick it up. Okay. Broke down below support. I think we're going lower here. You have a nice volume shelf here. The heat map is picking up solid support way down here. I'm not saying we're going to go down there. But if you were looking for a long entry point, 1209 is very attractive. Where do we close on Friday? 1334, easily achievable. High beta name. Volatility beta. So I would look for 12 spot 04 at a minimum. 12 spot 09 to hold. And I would look to enter at that price point. So I would wait, show a lot of patience here. What else do we have? American Airlines. You know, I want to be bullish. I really do. As you can see, we have a ton of overhead supply here. We've been fighting to get through this resistance level forever. You know, when I would start looking at American Airlines, is right here. And inevitably, we're going to get there. And I want to be optimistic. But it may not happen for quite some time. Now, for a pullback, you have a couple of choices here. Here, $10.56. If that fails, it's coming down here, $8.40. I would entertain a buy at $10.56 if we happen to get down there. And we'll keep it active for the week. Okay. Daily chart. Oh, actually, weekly chart. Sorry, weekly chart. Yeah, not a good week last week. Let's go to a daily chart. I want to be bullish. I really do. But it's weak. Would I go shorting it? No, I wouldn't go shorting it. But it's weak. You know, if we manage to put in a higher low here from the lows of August the 3rd, and then we begin to break out above this resistance level, especially if it corresponds with 1199, which is the top of this volume shelf. And as you can see here, take note of these series of days here between July the 23rd and the 29th, where you had 1290 acting as resistance. Then it failed. Then it rallied back. What I would like to see here is for 1290 to hold. And that would be an interesting support level. That would be logical support level. What was resistance should now act as support. But there's always a but, especially with stocks that you're trying to find a bottom, and it's always hit or miss. Stocks are weak and declining. So, as I've mentioned with other charts here, when you get the Stokes down below 50, rallies tend to fade. So this needs to get resolved. These Stokes need to begin to flatten out, hook up. RSI, all it's doing is putting in lower highs and lower lows. So in short, while we set up a strategy here for entering American Airlines, I see zero in terms of a compelling reason to go walking in on Monday morning and scooping up a ton of shares. You need to be very, very careful here, extremely careful. It's a weak sector. I think that they'll benefit a ton by strong economic data, especially jobless claims, initial jobless claims coming in below 1 million. That'll give people a reason to go buy in the airlines, but I don't see a reason at this point in time. You want to nibble at support, fine, so be it. But in all probability, we're going to get a little bit more weakness here on American Airlines. WEX. Monthly chart. All right, so it appears as though we're putting in a lower high, and we have a bearish reversal bar on the month, a close down below 148.33. This then becomes a short. So that support level must hold. Weekly chart. Ton of resistance above. Let's take the heat map off. Ton of resistance above. New weekly lows last week. You have a lot of resistance right in here, a lot of volume. RSI week. Daily chart. RSI weak and getting weaker. Stokes weak. I don't see a compelling reason to go buying these shares. I mean, speculation that it may hold this support level at 152.28. Maybe it does. You know, if you spend a couple of days trading above 152.28, if you want to go nibbling, okay, on spec, but you got to keep a stop loss fairly tight, because if we break down, going back to that monthly chart, if we break down below 152.28, excuse me, 148.33, my apologies, 148.33, it's all over. It's going a lot lower. That's a failed breakdown. That's WEX. Failed breakdown. I don't think that's an accurate statement. Failed rally. Okay. Northern Dynasty Minerals daily chart. It's on a fade here. I could tell. Okay. Monthly chart. Bearish reversal bar so far on the month. A lot of resistance. These buyers back here, they want their money back, and they're selling. They've been holding this stock for them a lifetime, many, many years. So I wouldn't be a buyer of these shares until we broke out above resistance up here. I wouldn't want to wait that long, though. We'll drill down to a weekly chart, take a look at a better entry point from a monthly. We'll keep this active for a while. Let's go to a weekly chart. Bearish reversal week. $133. Interesting support. It was support back here. It was resistance back here. 133 is the number I'd be looking for to act as support. Beware, though. Your Stokes are losing momentum. RSI is losing momentum. Daily chart. We broke support on Friday. Bearish reversal bar. I think that's exactly where we're going, is to 133, possibly even down here to 128, 129 per share. So no compelling reason whatsoever to get long of this stock. NVIDIA. Going a little bit over. I want to circle back to the future, see how we're holding up. Monster. Absolute monster. RSI monthly base. This is around 85. It's going higher. Weekly chart. RSI 84.09. Closed just off the highs of the week. Daily chart. What can you say? I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful breakout. If by chance you get a retest, right here. Come on, you're killing me. There we go. That would be a great buying point. I would use a trailing stop loss order on this and let the market take you out. It's a beautiful chart. I think it goes up higher. That's NVIDIA. You're welcome, Suresh. Win. You're welcome, Oliver. You know, it reminds me of American Airlines, to be honest with you. I think you're better off with a name like Penn National Gaming. But I know you, Kat, you're probably thinking about it as a short. Would I go shorting it? If it failed to hold support here, I would entertain it. And that's at around, where are we at? 78.87 per share. Even if we rallied up and through 84.28, which is resistance, you still have a ton of resistance up here. I'm not feeling the love here. Does this thing even pay a dividend? It's yielding. I'm not sure if the yield is safe. An inside week last week. No new high, no new low. Struggling. It's struggling. You know, 100. What are you thinking about doing? Yeah, you're considering short? Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, even if you get a weekly breakout, I mean, if we did this, let's say we did this. You know, you took your crayon out. Even if we got a breakout on a weekly basis, I mean, there's just so much overhead supply above. I think it's going to take years to work off. If it fails, I mean, if it breaks down below 78, it's a short. If it breaks down below 70, it's all over. I mean, it's going a lot lower. The only time I would ever consider buying it, and this would be on a long-term spec because I love the dividend, which I don't know if it's safe or not, it would be on a close above this upper band of resistance at around, let's call it $86 a share. And that would be it. Franklin, have a great night, my friend. Yes, please smash the like button, everybody, please. All right, let's circle back to Kat. Hopefully I answered your question on that. A low. I don't need to take a look at the charts. Home Depot and Lowe's. Yeah, those storms coming in. You have people moving. You know, granted, Home Depot's extended here. It's probably going higher. It's a monster. Low. Everything is going right for these names. People are staying home. They're pulling forward home improvements. Plus, they're moving. Lowe's is very extended here. I will say that. But it probably has a bit more fuel left in the tank. Daily chart. It does. It's probably going to pop up higher here. But it is very extended. Let's check out Home Depot. Nice orderly pullback, probably moving up higher on both shorter term, longer term. A little bit concerned about Lowe's longer term, technically. You're welcome, Will. All right, let's dollar pulling back off of its highs. Gold. Off the lows, still down. Good. Good. Silver. Off the lows. We're holding support here. No breakout. For those just joining in, these are 4-hour charts. NASDAQ 100. Holding gains near the highs of the session. S&P 500. Holding gains slightly off the highs of the session. NASDAQ 100. Capitalizing at the highs of the session. Remember, they were weak last week, gaining some steam early this new trading week. Yields. Actually, bond prices. Bond prices. They are breaking out. In fact, we broke out here on the 21st, retest 1, retest 2, retest 3. What we'll be looking for, and this does not bode well for the banks, is a continuation move higher on bonds this week. That tells me that yields early on this week are going to go lower. Corn. It's going to go. Watch agriculture names, especially if yields are dropping. Ag, commodities are going to come back into vogue this week in all probability. Wheat. A monster. Down on the session slightly. I don't know why this is red, but we're up. Whatever. It's a monster chart. Simply take a look at a weekly chart. Big breakout last week. Monster. And with that, folks, everybody have a profitable trading week. And you're welcome, Mo. And Kat, you're welcome. And have a profitable trading week, healthy week. Stay well. Smash the like button, subscribe, share with a friend. And I'll talk to you soon. Be well.